Shadow Skunktank gonna unleash the trailblaze, which will remove Lapras from the field of play. We're now gonna leave boosted, and out comes wigglytuff, and Skunktank is completely core breaking this opponent. Wigglytuff gonna be straight in and straight out. Welcome back to the channel. Today we've got yet another banger of a battle submission from somewhat of a mystery trainer. These battles come to me already edited up, but we don't know who the trainer is, and I have no idea what the elo is either. However, the email address is Legend71, so I guess we're going to rock with that. Legend71 is going to be showcasing a Pokemon that I think is hugely slept on and a massive core breaker in this current meta, and that is Shadow Skunktank. Due to its dark poison typing, much like Drapion, it's able to resist common ghost type damage and resist psywave. This meta currently has so many targets for Skunktank. Fairies are pretty common, stuff like Azumeril, Galarian Weezing, and of course the annoying Marshmallow Wigglytuff. Skunktank, much like Drapion, also can hit back as counters of ground types, but unlike Drapion, Trailblaze hits objectively harder and comes with a 100% chance to vamp up the user's attack. Today we're opting for a super interesting moveset. We're not running Crunch, we're running Trailblaze and Flamethrower. Is that the correct moveset? I have no idea, but there's only one way to find out. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles! And in game 1, we lead Malamar into Victory Bell. Not a bad lead for us, however we've got two things that resist grass in the back, so we say switch into Pidgeot, baiting out Azumeril. Today's featured battle are going to put up a Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming Ice Beam. Very nice fast move timing, 2 Gust and the Aerial Ace, only giving the opponent 1 free turn. Aerial Ace forces the opponent's first Protect Shield. Pidgeot able to outpace to the Brave Bird. Brave Bird! Unfortunately goes shielded. Unfortunately, we didn't get to boom Azumeril, but this does put us in a very nice position. Azumeril now finds itself nothing but free farm for Skunktank. We know Skunktank is going to be very advantageous in the Victory Bell. It just depends on what's in the back. Skunktank going to put up that Protect Shield in exchange for a huge farm down. The opponent not wanting to concede a farm down, send out Dragonair, and Malamar hits the field of play. Aqua Tail gets us into the yellow health range. Legend71 going to overfarm before throwing off the foul play. Foul play rocks the opponent deep into the red health range, and the opponent is going to dump energy, and this game is already over. We've just got to be mindful the opponent could potentially catch a back onto the low health Azumeril. Skunktank gets that farm down. Victory Bell re-enters the arena, but Victory Bell going to be straight in and straight out. Flamethrower picks up that one hit KO. We're going to poison jab farm down Azumeril and take that game. Heading into the next battle, this time we see Clodsire in the lead, exactly where the team wants to see it. The opponent say switches into Sableye, and here comes Pidgeot. The opponent doesn't farm up to a power gem, but we are going to respect the first move. We shield up the foul play, fire off the Aerial Ace, and it looks like we're actually going for an undercharge. I like that play, to be honest, as foul play very easily survivable, and we do want to leave with some residual energy. The opponent reaches the part in foul play, doing a very solid amount of chip damage. Back out comes Clodsire. Pidgeot farming up and full sending the Brave Bird, looking to force our shield back or do massive damage. Brave Bird does force that shield back, and the opponent is going to get a very nice Poison Sting farm down. Malamar re-enters the arena. The opponent is going to look to fire off some energy. Earthquake instantly puts us into the yellow, and out comes Galarian Moltres, and we now see the battle of dark types. Most Skunktanks will be running Crunch and Trailblaze. So with that in mind, the opponent likely looked to soak this charge move, expecting to fully wall us. We fire off the Flamethrower, all of which goes shield, and this now puts us in somewhat of an awkward position. The Skunk far too low to consider shielding this. If we shield, we just get resisted Sucker Punch farm down. We really need to knock this thing out with a resisted foul play. If we throw a superpower here, we debuff our own attack and defense. Unfortunately, foul play doesn't get the job done, and we're unable to psywave farm down before that charge move is reached. Ancient Power forces the final Protect Shield. Back out comes Clodsire. They reach a charge move, and that one is going to end in defeat. In the next battle, today's featured battler gets some chance at redemption as we see another Galarian Moltres, this time in the lead position. We save switch into Pidgeot. Pidgeot instantly puts up that Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming Ancient Power, and Drapion hits the field of play. We farm to the Brave Bird, fire off the Aerial Ace, forcing our Protect Shield back. Trainer 71 just going to elect to let Pidgeot go down. The opponent fire off the Aqua Tail. Can we reach the Aerial Ace? Unfortunately not. Drapion able to Poison Sting farm down. Trainer 71 going to send back out Malamar. Malamar going to be greeted with a charge move. The opponent fire off a Crunch. It's going to hurt. Crunch instantly puts us below half health. Trainer 71 not messing around, going straight for the superpower. Looks to move Drapion from the field of play. Down goes Drapion, and we are spamming the switch. Out comes Skunktank. The opponent banks some energy and send out Gastrodon. Come on, trainer. It's just a crunch. Trailblaze unfortunately forced the Protect Shield. The opponent looking for that full Mud Slap farm down, but unable to do so. Skunktank reaches the next Trailblaze. Trailblaze removes the annoying snail from the field of play. Back out comes Moltres. Moltres able to Sucker Punch farm down. Can they reach the double before we reach a charge move? Trainer 71 going to invest that Protect Shield, blocking up the Ancient Power. No, we get outpaced by around a turn. Unfortunately, a very close game, but this one also ends in defeat. GG's that opponent. Heading into the next battle, we have our first of what I expect to be many Cradily sightings in today's video. We're going straight for the superpower right off the bat. Superpower forces that Protect Shield and we see the pivot into Skunktank. Cradily going to do what Cradily users do best, apply a very annoying debuff. The opponent fire off the Rock Tomb, then send out Swampert. Swampert looks for that Mud Shot farm down. We reach the Trailblaze. Trailblaze forces the Protect Shield. We've now got a 2 to no shield advantage. We send out Pidgeot. Pidgeot can survive one Hydro Cannon, although it does hurt. I've been using Pidgeot a lot recently. It's not the bulkiest. Potentially though, we can go for the 1 shield, full gust farm down, and look to start Brave Bird and the absolute shit out of everything. Unfortunately, unable to get that farm down before the departing Hydro Cannon is reached, and we now find ourselves in a shieldless game. Back out comes Cradily. I was anticipating 2 Gusts and the Brave Bird. I'm not entirely sure why we're Aerial Ace in here. I guess double Aerial Ace would also get the job done, but I think 1 Brave Bird, banking a little bit of energy and then pivoted, would have perhaps been more optimal. We do pivot out now. Out comes Ferret, and Malamar re-hits the field of play. Trainer 71 looking to maximise his fast move pressure before inevitably debuffing his own attack and defence. We reach the double superpower. If 1 doesn't get the job done, the 2nd certainly will. The opponent survives. Deep in the red health range, Malamar fires off the next superpower, hits no bubbles, and we return to winning ways. GG's. Heading into the next battle, we see an atrocious lead. We're going to say switch into Pidgeot, the opponent opting to stay in, which potentially means this is going to be a double Mud Slap team. The most annoying Great League team out there. We fire off the Aerial Ace, forcing a protection. Wigglytuff looks like full tap tap, charm down, farm down, which they're able to get. Legend 71 now has a decision to make. Do you want a Poison Jab farm down or do you want a psywave farm down? The opponent bank a charge me with Wigglytuff and send out Cradily. Not a bad spot to be in. Skunktank fires off the Trailblaze, which hits for neutral and also ramps up our attack. The opponent instantly going to put our attack back to normal, firing off the Rock Tomb. I don't think we're going to be able to Poison Jab farm down before the next Rock Tomb's reach. So Trainer 71 opts to fire off the Trailblaze. Trailblaze goes unshielded, removing Cradily from the field of play, and out comes Lapras. Lapras going to be able to outpace to the Sparkling Aura, but this is not Sparkling Aura range. We tank the damage, reach the Trailblaze, no catch attempt has been made. Trailblaze should be forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. No, the opponent actually don't shield. What are you saving that shield for? Back out comes Wigglytuff. We can just shield up whatever they throw. We're going to be able to Psywave farm down and take that game. Skunktank very good into the entirety of the team. In the next battle, the tough leads continue. Malamar going to take double super effective from the X-Scissor, so we are going to be putting up that Protect Shield. Pidgeot also not going to be a fan of the electric type damage. We shield up that X-Scissor, over farm, fire off the Foul Play. Foul Play this season is doing less damage, but still going to be able to 2-shot. We reach the next Foul Play on the CMP tie. Potentially we could just shield and look to Psywave farm down, and it looks like that's the exact play we go for. We are going to leave down both Protect Shields, but we'll have a healthy Malamar with residual energy. We actually bank our energy snipe with Pidgeot looking to get a running start, and out comes Gator. If this Gator is running Ice Beam, as with the Shadow variant of Pidgeot, we will cleanly get one shot by an Ice Beam. However, we are able to force the final Protect Shield with the Aerial Ace, but the issue for us is the opponent heavily overfarm before unleashing a charge move. Ice Beam picks up that one hit KO. Gator with so much residual energy. We're going to send out Malamar. Malamar going to be straight in and straight out, and this Gator is starting to get out of hand. The Skunk will be able to survive one Hydro Cannon, and we are going to get a nice running start on energy, but we really need him to be insanely weak to us in the back. Perhaps something double weak to either Fire or Grass, a Mud Boy, or maybe a Lowland Sandslash. Out comes Thickersby, and we are going to concede the match. Heading into the next battle, we see Cradily in the lead. Last time we went for the superpower right off the bat. This time we're actually going to go for the Foul Play, anticipating the opponent looking to shield the first move and apply that very annoying debuff. The opponent, of course, does shield that first move. Fire off the Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb doesn't do too much. The opponent then attempts to catch a superpower onto Metachan unsuccessfully, and Pidgeot hits the field of play. This fighter reigned supreme in the Great League for many, many seasons, but today is not going to be its day. It looks like Legend 71 looking for the one shield, full gust farm down, which we're able to get, leaving with a whole heap of energy, but very low on HP. Out comes Clodsire. We're going for the aerial ace bait. Clodsire, very bulky, not interested in shielding any baits this time. We're making the adjustment and full sending. Does the opponent respect the damage? They do not. Brave Bird almost picks up the knockout. The opponent anticipates us looking to snipe with Malamar and send back out Cradily. Cradily once again gets baited with the foul play. We reach the superpower from this range. We'll be moving Cradily from the field of play. We psywave farm down Clodsire and take that game. Very nicely done. In the next battle, we see the battle of dark types. Our psywaves are going to be double resisted. However, superpower will hit for super effective. The opponent can hit for neutral the entirety of the time with a snarl and either foul play or dark pulse combination depending on what they run. We're able to land the superpower, however we do throw on the CMP type, which means we're kind of obliged to shield as we do debuff our own defense. We don't need to shield, but that would do more with a one stage debuff defense. We then bank our energy, send out Pidgeot, and out comes Registeel. The tin can not messing around, going straight for the focus blast. Looking to move Pidgeot from the field of play, and focus blast does exactly that. This Registeel is still so healthy. I think we need to double superpower. I don't think a foul play into superpower will get the job done, as Pidgeot did very, very little damage to it. Let's see, we're going to hope superpower from this range knocks out. I think it'll be close, but not quite enough. Superpower gets the opponent low, we then pivot into Skunktank. This charge move is going to do a very solid amount of chip damage. Skunktank gets rocked into the red. Out comes Alolan Ninetales, and we are going to concede the match. Heading into the next battle, we see the Shadow variant of Cradily in the lead position. I don't often bait. I was going to say you could probably bait this, and they probably will shield the first move. We throw the superpower right off the bat. Why did I even doubt my own philosophy? Full send the nuke, guarantee that shield or massive damage. We land the superpower, nearly picking up the one-hit KO. Pivot into Skunktank, baiting out Blastoise. Skunktank able to force a protection right off the bat with the trailblaze. You can see these poison jabs are tearing through Blastoise. Opponent fire off the Hydro Cannon, which simply doesn't cut it. Skunktank reaches the next trailblaze, forcing the opponent all shields down. We've now got a 2-shield advantage and 2 almost full health Pokemon versus an unshielded opponent. Pidgeot comes in. We'll be respecting this charge move and show me something we can Brave Bird. The opponent full send a Skull Bash, then send out Talonflame. High Talonflame, by Talonflame. In this battle of flyers, Pidgeot will be reigning supreme. Brave Bird easily picks up that one-hit KO and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see another battle of dark types, but in this matchup, Drapion is certainly favoured. Drapion going to strike first, firing off the crunch. I do agree with this play. Tank the first charge move before debuffing yourself. The opponent actually went for a cheeky Aqua Tail bait. We return fire with the superpower, rocking the opponent into the red. We then pivot into Pidgeot, looking to snipe. The snipe attempt unsuccessful, and out comes Lapras. We see the instant no shield deployed. Sparkling Aura is going to do a lot, but not enough to get the job done. And you know what else is going to do a lot? A big Brave Bird. Brave Bird! Ooh, go shielded. The opponent is now going to get a very nice Psywave farm down. We send back out Malamar, where these Psywaves are going to be triple resisted. Malamar not messing around, going straight for the superpower. Superpower forces the opponent's final protect shield, and the opponent throws it very nice timing just before the next superpower is reached. Today's featured battler putting all his hopes and dreams on a 2-shield Skunk. This reminds me of my early days playing Ultra League. When I used to run fight a double dark poison, I'd shave Skunktank, 2-shield, and pray it could sweep a team. Let's see if it works in the Great League. Skunktank looks for the poison jab farm down, but Lapras reaches a charge move on like invisible HP. Skunktank has a lot of energy, but no shields to hide behind. Out comes the Panda Bear. We need to be really careful. Drapion is still alive, but very, very low. We pause a turn, ensuring the Trailblaze lands on its intended target. Very nice play. Drapion does have an Aqua Tail bank, but Aqua Tail from this range simply will not cut it. And Skunktank is going to pull off the entire team sweep. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, we pick up a neutral lead against Shadow Kanto Marowak. The opponent can win this in the 2-shield matchup, like they can a lot of matchups, straight cheesing their way through it with that Mud Slap Bone Club combination. The opponent actually tried to catch a charge move onto Azumeril, and Skunktank hits the field of play. Player off rocks us into the red. We throw one poison jab and the trailblaze for disciplined fast move timing. Trailblaze isn't lethal, but we're able to poison jab farm down and leave minimal farm for the return in Marowak. Unfortunately, we don't get the RE, meaning we are denied that trailblaze, but that's kind of how the game is intended to work. We're now back exactly where we started. Malamar re-enters the arena, fires off the foul play, goes unshielded. The opponent then play to the CMP tie. They do not win. Shout out the GOAT, home slice Henry for that quote, and huge congrats on reaching early legend. I'm sure the video will be up at some point today. We then attempt to snipe with Pidgeot. The opponent simul swap, sending out Primate. They throw on alignment, and this game is signed, sealed and delivered. The opponent go for the Rage Fist bait, but no bait will be saving their fate. Pidgeot Gus farms down everything, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see Galarian Weezing in the lead position. Of all the fairies, this is certainly Malamar's favourite, as these psywaves are really chunked through their HP. We shield up the sludge. We're going to return fire with the foul play. A foul play is resisted, but all chip damage is welcome. We're then going to farm up, look to catch the sludge onto Skunktank. Very, very nicely done. The opponent really needs to pivot out, or they're just going to give us free farm. The opponent does pivot out. That certainly is not the counter swap I was expecting. Out comes Grumpig. Grumpig going to go straight for the Dynamic Punch. Dynamic Punch picks up the knockout. It's kind of funny, when the move update was announced, everyone was like, Grumpig's gone from 0 to hero. People used it for all of about 2 days, and it's very much found itself back in the spice category. I'm very surprised to see the opponent invest to Protect Shield on the Grumpig. We're already at an X foul play, and the opponent actually up to double shield. The opponent is going to need to send a Shadow Ball. Dynamic Punch doesn't get the same type attack bonus and won't get the job done. The opponent goes for the Dynamic Punch. We then pivot into Pidgeot, and the opponent throws an awful fast move timing. It is Boom Bird time. Come on, trainer, show me something we can nuke. The opponent sends out Cradily, try and sack Weezing. The catch attempt unsuccessful. Pidgeot leaves at 100 energy. We're going to fire off the Aerial Ace. The Aerial Ace into Brave Bird combination. We'll pick up that KO. Hi Cradily, bye Cradily. Pidgeot says, nice to see you, nice. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, we see a fantastic lead. The opponent's Psywave triple resisted, whereas ours are neutral. The opponent save switch into Drapion. Drapion going to go straight for the crunch, rocking us down to around the half health, and they even get the defense drop. We're going to return fire with the superpower, force the Protect Shield, and Pidgeot hits the field of play. Crunch, Shadow on Shadow Crime will do a lot of damage, and we are going to respect it. The opponent thankfully don't go for the Aqua Tail bait. We then throw one Gust and the Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace in this range will be removing Drapion from the field of play. And if Lapras returns, I think we're going to CMP tie to the Brave Bird. Back out comes Lapras. We're able to reach that Brave Bird. Brave Bird going to do massive damage or force the final Protect Shield. The opponent invests the final Protect Shield, and it is indeed a charge attack priority. For some reason, it's really messed up the one-turn move animation. Of course, we saw the Psywave come through, so I didn't actually think the opponent through, but clearly they did. Skunktank hits the field of play, going to shield at the Sparkling Aurea, and we're going to go straight for the Trailblaze, looking to move Lapras from the field of play. Down goes Lapras, out comes Wigglytuff, and Skunktank going to have his wicked way with this backline. We reach the next Trailblaze, it's boosted, it's going to one-shot the Marshmallow, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see Dugong in the lead position. Another former meta Pokemon that's really fallen from grace this season. I think Lapras is just objectively better, and if you ever get aligned your Dugong into a Lapras, you're essentially crying. We see the opponent go for the standard play pattern of shielding the first move, whatever we throw, and looking to apply that debuff. We tank the Icy Wind. This superpower is now one stage debuff, but still going to do a lot, rocking Dugong down to around the third health. The opponent opts to instant throw the Icy Wind. I like this no shield. Potentially 7 poison jabs will knock out. Trainer, you need to pivot. You don't get there, trainer. Skunktank gets a massive farm down and leaves absolutely loaded. Out comes Charger Bug. Oh boy, do they know about the flamethrower? Flamethrower almost picks up the one-hit KO. Skunktank able to poison jab farm down. Skunktank absolutely popping off. The opponent wants none of that smoke, and they concede the match. Heading into the next battle, we see the Malamar Mirror. These Psywaves are both hitting each other for triple resisted, so fast move pressure non-existent. It's all about charge moves. We throw the foul play, then go for the superpower. Superpower rocks them into the red. We send out Pidgeot, trying to snipe, unsuccessfully. The opponent banks a buckler of energy on Malamar and send out Togetic. Last season a lot did run Ancient Power, but this season I think most will be on Psyshock and Dazzling Gleam. Pidgeot tanks the Psyshock, full sends the Brave Bird. Brave Bird! Oh man, once again goes shielded. The Boom Bird pulling shields left, right and centre, which in some ways is good, but very disappointing for me, who loves to see stuff get boomed. We send out Skunktank. Is this only a Psy Shock? The opponent actually reaches the Dazzling Gleam and Skunktank loses almost all of its HP. Oof, the opponent then able to snipe our energy with Golurk. They send back out Malamar. We've still got 2 shields to hide behind. We're going to shield up the foul play. This one's likely the superpower, but I think we have to let this go. The opponent just set off with a foul play, which I think is a huge mistake. Superpower would do more in this matchup. Can Malamar reach the 2 charge moves required to win this battle? Malamar now at the double foul play. Foul play has been nerfed this season. The question is it still going to be enough to get the job done? Golurk, not known for its bulk. Foul play does indeed pick up the knockout, and we take that game. Heading into the final battle of today's shoutcast, we've got one final Cradily in the lead. Sometimes we've full sent, sometimes we've baited, and this time we're going down the path of a cheeky masturbaiting session. I personally don't bait often because every time you masturbate, a poor defenseless cat loses its life. A lot of people ask me what I mean about that reference. It was an old wives' tale. I think it's essentially to tell kids you shouldn't masturbate, but we're getting massively distracted and I'm probably going to get myself demonetised once again. So let's try and not get distracted. We've made it to like 21 minutes, which is probably a record for me. We see the pivot into Skunktank. The opponent debuff us and then send out Swallow. This is definitely a matchup where Crunch would be nice, as Crunch would do objectively more than a flamethrower and does have that 30% chance of a defense drop. The opponent going to get a massive mud shot farm down, which is kind of problematic for us. We haven't really got any great way of soaking this energy. We send back up Malamar to operate as the damage sponge. The opponent fire off the Sludge. The Sludge picks up the knockout and it's Pidgeot versus the Wild. Swallow does have access to Ice Beam. We get baited with the Sludge. Can the opponent still reach the Ice Beam? It looks like we're going to call this is only a Sludge. Oh, that's the beam. And I think that's game over. Hold, hold. The opponent then attempt to sack Cradily. We go for the Aerial Ace. The Shadow Claws are double resisted. Can the opponent farm us down before we farm them down? We're actually at the double Aerial Ace. Pidgeot going to fire off the Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace forces the protection. The opponent gets KO'd through the shield. I can't quite believe we won that battle. Holy smokes. GG's. What a crazy way to end today's shoutcast. A huge shout out to today's mystery trainer, who I believe we called Legend 71. That was a lot of fun. I think Skunktank is such an underrated, slept on pick in this meta, as it has so many targets. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button if you're new. Consider subscribing if you like your battles featured on my channel. A link to my battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thanks to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.